Welcome to the Spooky Scary Show. We are two friends in two different states who discuss all things spooky, scary, and just downright strange. We read new stories every week. If you would like to suggest a topic or submit a paranormal story, email us at spookyscaryshow@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram and Facebook for spooky facts and updates.
Welcome to episode 9, Ghosties!
Hello there.
So, how was your week this week, Pinky?
It wasn't too bad. It went by pretty fast, actually.
It did. It flew by this week, and I hope I am not coming down with anything, but I feel it. The funk has been going around the office at work, and, literally people will be out for, 2 to 3 days, and, ugh.
Like a cold, or...?
Yeah, it sounds just like a normal, cold. That's, circulating.
Ugh. Yeah. I work in a building with 600 children, so I'm definitely exposed.
I'm surprised you're not sick yet. Maybe it's coming.
Well, the first year I moved here, I was sick pretty much the whole entire frickin' year, and I think that I've just had all of the things that you could possibly have, so I'm immune to them now. Knock on wood.
Yeah, you better knock. Oh my gosh, knowing you have not been blessed with a strong immune system. I remember in high school you're always sick.
You know, I haven't been sick in 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I am really trying hard to not say the common words that I always say.
We'll see how that goes. Alcohol doesn't help.
Oh, I know. But I did want to bring up, so me and Pinky, we pulled up our stats for our little podcast. So I really wanted to give a shout out to all the real MVPs out there. I mean, we're still a tiny little podcast, so anything really helps. So I'm just really happy that we have 9 listeners in Germany. So hello, my friends in Germany. I do know how to say one word, and that is Einhorn, which means unicorn. So hello.
You would.
And then our friends from down under in Australia, we have about 7 of those. So hi, my friends. And then Norway is 6. United Kingdom is 5. And then, US, we still in here at 5. So hello, new friends.
Hello.
So, are you guys going to do anything fun fall-y coming up? Are you guys going to go to any haunted houses or anything?
I would like to. There's supposed to be some fun, haunted Washington tour around here that...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'd like to go to, and maybe I'll even do a vlog for you guys.
Oh, you should. That'd be so fun.
There's this local, in my tiny little town, there's this cemetery in the middle of the woods somewhere where the teenagers go and have parties. That would be cool to see, but I guess you can't go there anymore, and it's private property.
That is creepy. I hate that.
Yeah.
And then, just to be a teenager, if we were teenagers, we would probably go down there and hang out and drink 40s and stuff.
Yeah, we probably weren't the smartest. So, what's the topic today, Dolly?
Alrighty. So today's topic, you guys probably already know by the title. It is Haunted at Sea. And there's kind of a lot. I kind of thought about doing a folklore story. But then I actually founded this cool ship where you can actually go on board. And it's not the St. Mary one, because that one's super popular. So my story is about the SS William A. Irvin. So the SS William A. Irvin is a lake freighter named for William A. Irvin that sailed as a bulk freighter on the Great Lakes as a part of the U.S. Steel's Lake Fleet. She was flagship of the company fleet from her launch in the depths of the Depression in 1938 until 1975, and then was a general workhorse of the fleet until her retirement in 1978. So just to give you guys a sense of how massive, at least I think this is massive, could be small, SS William is 610 feet overall, and then the carrying capacity is 13,600 tons. So that's a big bitch, I think. It can carry a lot of stuff.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about ships, but that sounds pretty big.
It sounds pretty big to me.
Yeah, that's a lot of tons. A ton of tons.
A ton of tons. So the William was one of few Lakers built with a 3-tiered boat cabin as opposed to the standard 2. The extra deck is used to house a suite of 4 guest cabins and a guest lounge. Also, a part of the guest accommodations was a guest dining room located where the number 2 hatch would be on most Lakers. Those parts of the boat are trimmed in oak paneling and walnut veneer with brass hand railings.
Fancy.
Sounds fancy.
Uh-huh.
The SS William was launched on November 10th, 1937 at the yards of the American Shipbuilding Company in Ohio. Her maiden voyage began on June 25th, 1938, after outfitting in Lorient. The cost of the ship was about $1.3 million.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a lot. In 1938, too.
Yes. I wonder what that would be like now, like $1 billion.
I don't know. Math. Inflation.
Math. That is really scary.
Spooky.
Spooky maths. Student loans. Oh my god. So, you guys might want to know, so what happened to this ship? So the main story behind all the hauntings come from the Duluth News Tribune in 1964. And this is a snippet from their little article. An International Falls seaman was scalded to death and 2 others were injured Saturday night in a boiler room accident aboard the steamer William A. Irvin, as it was en route to Duluth for an iron ore cargo. William Worry died at 59, and then in fair condition at the local hospital in Michigan was Leon Shaffitt Jr., and then he was from Illinois, and Stanley Pennell, 43, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I should say. The Irvine, a U.S. Steel Corp vessel, was on its first trip of the year to head of the lakes. It spent the winter at the Lower Lakes port. A U.S. Steel spokesman said the 3 gentlemen were on watch in the fire room when the boiler tube broke. Water from the tube sprayed on the boiler and exploded into steam, which scalded the men. The accident occurred in Whitefish Bay. The Irvine returned to the bay. It had cleared the Sioux Locks upbound at 10:30 p.m. Friday.
Oof.
I know.
What a horrible way to die.
Burned by water.
Right. Have you ever stuck your hand or took the lid off of a pot of water, boiling water, and it's ah!
Yes, or if you're just dumping out water for your mac and cheese, and then the boiling water gets on you, it's, oh gosh.
Horrible.
Yikes. Horrible. So after this incident, the chief engineer of the Irvin was suspended for negligence due to the fact that this accident was entirely preventable.
Ugh.
Yikes. So, you might ask, well, what of the ship nowadays? Well, my friend, I have an answer for you. This ship is now known as a haunted ship, and it is really haunted. you can actually go, if you just Google, like, haunted ship, William A. Irvin, there's a website that pops up, where you can buy tickets to go on there. But I was doing a little research. It looks like they were closed last year, and it looks like they're going to be closed this year as well due to, like, some maintenance.
The boiler acting up again?
I know.
Yikes.
I know. But this is a little snippet from their website, which, after watching videos of how tiny these hallways are, like, you have to, like, hunch through, there's no way I would be caught in here for Halloween, because they transform it into a giant interactive, like, haunted house.
No thanks.
I know! Or, worse off, imagine being the person dressed up to scare people, and you gotta wait in a dark haunted ship for people to come for you to jump out and to scare them. Double nope.
I'm a little more worried about being claustrophobic, honestly.
Yeah. Ooh. So their website says, "Are you ready for a real scare? Here's a place for it, but we warn you, tour if you dare." Which I really like. So, A star for marketing. Each year, for the month of October, the Irvine transforms itself into a haunted ship where the ghosts come alive. Your worst nightmares will come to life, and it will seem like they will never end. Double nope. No thank you. During the self-guided tour, literally you're by yourself.
Oh, God.
You'll see how the once historic ore ship has been flipped inside out to reveal its true identity. The haunting of the Irvine is not just a rumor. Mysterious sightings have been reported. Don't be too sure. The flickering lights and the slamming doors are a part of the act. Our ghosts may appear at any time.
Oh, God.
Oh, no, thank you. Walking through the dark, eerie hallways, you'll get a feeling you're never alone. Because you won't be. No, thank you. In this ship, no place is safe. Starting in the engine room, you will travel through the ship until you land in your final destination that is below the freezing waters of Lake Superior in a maze of terror. If you thought the rest of the ship was terrifying, just wait until you step down into the maze. I want to live, so no thank you.
That actually sounds kind of fun.
It does. It kind of sounds like a 13th floor, but, like, real and on a ship.
Yeah. There's a haunted house in Nebraska. It's called the Mystery Manor, and it's really cool. It's like a setup haunted house, but it's actually a real haunted house. Like, someone was murdered there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, is it like a big mansion, or is it just like a creepy house?
It's a pretty big house. You take an elevator up and then go through a bunch of stuff.
Dang.
And then you take a slide down 2 stories out.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it really is a lot of fun.
Ugh, I want to go. I'm not planning on doing anything spooky this year, but we'll see. And also, another thing about this is, like, you're in Michigan in winter, so you're basically in Canada, and then you're on the ship that's, like, below the freezing lake, so how cold is this? I have questions.
I imagine that they heat it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like, they can't have
Technology,
people...
they probably do.
Yeah, they can't have people out when it's, like, -4 in the water.
Just erase that from the podcast, please.
Nope.
Okay. While down in the pitch-dark dungeon of the ship, not knowing where you're going is the least of your worries. Watch your back. You never know who'll be hovering over your shoulder. If you think you're brave enough to face your fears, come to the haunted ship. But remember, only the tough ones will make it through alive.
Dun, dun, dun!
That's creepy, but it gets even worse once I actually kind of read through the claims from the actual employees who, like, maintenance the ship and who work on here. And you can also, there's also, like, ghost hunters and people who go on there. Like, a ton of information's on their website. It's pretty cool. Pretty outdated, so if anybody's down there and you do anything recent, let us know. So the claims are, the captain of the ship is said to still do his patrols. It is said that he is angry the ship was docked when it was still seaworthy. His footsteps are notoriously loud. Like, you don't just, like, hear these, like, you know, little gentle feet steps. Like, nah, like, he's slamming his feet, like, walking up the stairs and stuff. Like, he's pissed. Employees have seen a unidentified lady dressed in white that walks the ship. Her clothes are said to be not of this era either, but you can't really see her face. Crews have also reported that is not only just a woman they have seen walking in the narrow passages of the boat. 2 employees saw a person wearing a yellow hard hat and a Union blue utility suit walk past the office that they're, like, working in, down the narrow hallway. The employees were alarmed because of a trespasser, so they went searching for this person. But they did not find anyone else on the ship. This one is even more spooky scary. Another employee reported seeing another lost sailor that had a big white beard. The apparition was wearing an older style dark blue jacket with a dark gray undershirt and a even darker gray hat. He appeared to be walking across the ship's hallway. So just imagine, like, you're staring straight down, like, these rows, like, doot, 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 like, going down, and then something is, like, walking across it.
Ugh.
He appears to be walking across the ship's hallways a few yards away before stopping and making direct eye contact with the employee. After a brief pause, and while their eyes were still locked, which seemed forever, might the guy add, the employee looked down, then looked back up to still see the ghost staring at him. Because, you know, when you, like, look down, you look back up, like, sometimes things, like, disappear.
Oh, no.
The apparition then continued walking another 2 footsteps before disappearing. And I guess at the end of that hallway, it actually led you down to the boiler room. Ooh! Spooky scary! Several other employees of the ship have claims of unexplained shadows throughout the ship. They have also had objects thrown at them while doing maintenance with no explanation. A video recording captured a rolly desk chair just sitting there, swiveling 360 degrees.
Ugh.
It's just like, Other ghost hunters have reportedly felt a hand grasp the back of their necks while they were searching for activity. And then I was trying to, like, get more information on, like, ghost boxes, but I couldn't really find anything, like, super exciting. Like, one guy said hi, and then another guy said radio, so that's not, like, super crazy.
Sounds pretty freaking freaky.
Oh, no.
I'd be more concerned about working there than actually going to the haunted house attraction.
Yeah, because they also do, like, I was watching videos on YouTube, and when they're not doing, like, the crazy Halloween, like, get-up, you can actually take, like, tours, and they'll go through, like, each room, and they'll be like, well, I experienced this in this room, and that other stuff. I'm like, that's a big old cup of nope. I'm claustrophobic. I couldn't.
Yeah, the little narrow hallways and stuff would freak me out.
Yeah.
We did some claustrophobic stuff at that haunted house we went to in Arizona. There was, like, that inflatable wall that we had to walk through. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
It was like a solid-looking thing, but it was inflatable, and you walk through this slit in this foam thing.
And then when you come out of it, it looks like a swamp. And then there's like a snake that giant snake that popped out. I was in the middle, so I felt safe.
Did we make Derek go first?
Yeah, he almost punched a dude. And he was like, I'm sorry, I was really scared.
Wuss.
So what do you got for me today, Pinky?
My story is called Tragedy on the SS Ourang Medan. Fact or legend?
Dun, dun, dun.
This story was written by Les Hewitt on December 15th of 2015. Maritime history is full of tales of ghost ships and sea serpents. Not all of these are true and accurate accounts, or, if they are prone to exaggerations and embellishment. Stories like these are hotly debated between believers and skeptics. While some of these tales originate centuries ago, one of the more curious tales is mere decades old. This is the story of the SS Ourang Medan. Depending on which report is accurate, a curious radio message was received by numerous ships traveling along the Straits of Malacca, situated around Sumatra and Malaysia in either June 1947 or as late as February of 1948. At the time, the origins of this message, an SOS, were not known. The message itself was divided into two parts, separated by Morse code that could not be deciphered. Those that received this message insisted that the transcript went, "All officers, including the captain, are dead. Lying in chat room and bridge. Possibly whole crew dead. I die."
Ew, I hate that. I die now. I just want to let you know. I die. Bye.
Oh no. Nothing else was transmitted after this chilling conclusion. Two ships, both American, picked up the messages and felt compelled to investigate. With the help of British and Dutch listening posts, the coordinates of the vessel thought to be transmitting were triangulated. It was the Dutch freighter SS Ourang Medan. An American merchant ship, the Silver Star, was sent to the coordinates. Given the content of the distress calls, the captain of the Silver Star wasted no time in navigating to the new heading. Several hours later, the lookout on board the Silver Star spotted the stricken Ourang Medan. Even as the rescue ship pulled alongside, no signs of life could be seen visually.
Yikes.
All efforts to contact the crew failed, forcing the captain of the Silver Star to organize a search party. Something horrific happened on board the SS Ourang Medan. The moment that the search party boarded, it was obvious that the messages were horribly accurate. The decks of the Ourang Medan were littered with the corpses of the Dutch crew. The victims were found with wide-eyed horror and their faces twisted into sheer terror, arms trying to fight off something. Not even the ship's dog escaped the terror of whatever had taken place.
No, that's so mean.
I know.
What kind of flippin' animal did this, huh? Oh my god.
The canine was discovered to be in the midst of snarling at the cause. The captain was found, as one might have expected, on his bridge. The remainder of the bridge officers were found in the wheelhouse and chart room. The radio operator, who presumably sent the distress call, was found at his station. The engineering crew was also found at their stations with precisely the same expressions on their faces.
Is this a true story, or is this like a made-up story?
It's a true story.
No way!
Well, so there's people that think that it was like exaggerated or didn't really happen at all, but it'll make more sense when I finish reading the story.
Okay.
That'll tell you what I think happened.
Okay.
During the search efforts, the rescue party noted several things that struck them as odd or strange. The local temperature was in excess of 100 degrees Fahrenheit, but members of the team felt an ominous chill emanating from somewhere. Another oddity was the conditions of the victims. All of them had suffered, but none had any injuries to note of. They were also decaying quicker than they should be. The ship itself didn't appear to have suffered any damage. When the search party returned to the Silver Star, the decision to tow the Ourang Medan for salvage was quickly taken. It was only when the ships were tethered together that smoke was discovered below decks, specifically the number 4 cargo hold. Within seconds of the tow rope being severed, the Ourang Medan exploded with enough force to lift it out of the water before sinking into the seabed.
Oh my god. Holy cow. Think of how much dynamite would have had to been on there to blow that thing up.
Right. I imagine it's a pretty large ship, if it's a cargo ship.
Yeah. Aliens.
Hmm?
I'm ready. I apologize for everybody's eardrums out there. I just got a little excited.
The U.S. Coast Guard report. The first official mention of the incident was made by the United States Coast Guard in May 1952. In addition to the witness testimony of the state of the crew members themselves, the published account added that they were all found with their frozen faces upturned to the sun, staring as if in fear. The mouths were gaping open and the eyes staring. Fact or legend? One of the arguments cited against this ever taking place was the registry of the Ourang Medan. Officially speaking, it appears as though it never actually existed, although the Silver Star was a real vessel. But at the time the Ourang Medan was supposed to have been floundering, the Silver Star was operating under another registration, Santa Juana. The Grace Line Shipping Company had bought rights to the ship and renamed it. In contrast, those that believe in the Ourang Medan story insist that the ship was registered in Sumatra. At the time, Sumatra was a Dutch colony that formed part of what was known as the Dutch East Indies. In Indonesian, Ourang means man, and Medan is the largest city on the island of Sumatra. Hence, the registered name Ourang Medan literally means man from Medan. No records have been produced to back up this assertion. Even Lloyd's shipping registers and the Dictionary of Disasters at Sea from 1824 to 1962 has found no mention of the Ourang Medan. Professor Theodor Seiserdorfer of Essen in Germany has spent much of the last 50 years researching the story of the Ourang Medan. Seiserdorfer was the first to mention the names of the American ships that originally went in pursuit of the Ourang Medan and refers anyone interested in their own research to a German booklet written in 1954. The author of this publication was a man called Otto Michel, and seemingly knew a lot about the mysterious ship. Not just the route it took, the cargo it carried, but the name of the captain. This booklet, called I'm so sorry, German friends, I'm totally going to butcher this. Das Totenschiffen der Sudis, established the date as June 1947 and is often rumored to have been authenticated by a crewman aboard the Silver Star. It was also this booklet that mentioned the cargo hold and what might have been stored inside. According to this booklet, the cargo holds contained potassium cyanide and nitroglycerin. If this is actually true, then it could explain why there are no official records anywhere. Certainly having these combustible items on a rough sea is tantamount to negligence, of the most severe kind. It could also explain the subsequent explosion shortly after the salvage attempt was made. Freaking yikes.
Yeah. Just yep, we're just gonna go on the ocean slashing around in there.
Oh my god.
It'll be fine, we'll just ignore it. We'll get there.
No, you won't. There are those who speculated that the ship was actually carrying a far more sinister and altogether more dangerous cargo. biological weapons manufactured by Japanese scientists as the result of insidious experiments that even the Nazi regime would balk at, could well have been smuggled out of Japan.
Huh.
Known as Unit 731, it was designed to be a secret research development to create the most dangerous chemical and biological weapons to help establish Japanese supremacy. Unit 737 was formed sometime in 1932 by a Japanese bacteriologist called Shiro Ishii, who conducted terrible experiments during the Second World War.
Oh, God.
I know. Some fucked up shit going on here.
I know, I see what's going on.
Conspiracy. Is it feasible that Unit 731 was smuggled on a nondescript merchant vessel with a foreign crew to avoid drawing unwanted attention to what was taking place? If so, what went horribly wrong? Comparisons to the Philadelphia experiment have been made by some ufologists.
I knew it. I knew it was the aliens. Because anytime you want to try and get like Nazis and atomic bombs and just bombs in general involved, the aliens are gonna be like, nah fam, I'm gonna fucking take this away from you children because you're children and you don't need to be playing with that stuff.
You know, it's kind of funny. It does seem like alien stuff comes up a lot when people are doing this kind of shit.
I'm telling you, some are here to protect us.
Authors such as Morris K. Jessup quote the article and speculate in his 1955 book, The Case for the UFO, made famous by its link to the Philadelphia experiment and the Navy's reproduction of it as the Vero edition, that the crew might have been attacked by UFOs or paranormal forces prior to their deaths. Circumstantial evidence cited by these authors includes the apparent absence of a natural cause of death, the reportedly terrified expressions on the faces of the deceased, and rumors that some of the dead were pointing towards an unknown enemy. Strangely, there are letters in the CIA archives. In December 1959, C.H. Mark, Jr., C.H. of Scottsdale, Arizona, sent a letter to the assistant to the director of the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, Alan Dulles. The letter was classified as top secret by the CIA and would not be released to the public until May 5th of 2003. While the letter and its sender were known, the person to whom Mark wrote the letter remains redacted by the CIA to this day. This would not be the first time Mark wrote into the CIA, and there are other letters in the archives from him. Many sites report this as if Mark worked for the CIA, but he did not.
Listen, Mark, if you are out there, I know where Scottsdale is. I believe you, okay? You know, we can just like meet up, get some lunch, you know, just kind of hang out, alright? Contact me.
Oh my god. So, if you guys remember, Morris K. Jessup was in another one of our stories where we talked about the Philadelphia experiment. He was the writer that was really interested in UFOs and government conspiracy theories, and he was responsible for getting like that story out there.
Whatever happened to him? Was he assassinated?
He committed suicide.
Yes, that's what happened.
In his car.
The gas.
Yeah.
I see you, government. Aliens are real, okay? Poor guy.
I know, so sad. So, back to the story. I guess wraiths have also been blamed for whatever happened aboard the ill-fated ship. The unnatural deaths of the entire crew have lent some form of credibility to these and other causes that imagination have conjured up in the last half a century. Even undead pirates, like the crew of the fictional Black Pearl,
Ghost ships.
were blamed. Yeah. So, was the tragedy on the SS Ourang Medan a genuine event, or just a mariner's seafaring tale designed to scare, frighten, or dissuade?
What do you think, Pinky?
So, I was thinking, they had chemicals on the ship. They had potassium cyanide and nitroglycerin. Nitroglycerin, for one, is a contact explosive. That shit'll just blow up with no... It gets even more unstable the longer it's kept around, and it's possible they could have had, like, pure hydrogen or something, and pure hydrogen can burn without a flame, so it could be on fire and you literally wouldn't see it. Mm-hmm. That would explain them decaying faster than normal, their bodies, the temperature being hot. Mm-hmm. It would also explain them looking afeared for their life. Like, imagine suffocating outside on a deck. That would be pretty fucking...
Oh. Yeah. That would be frightened, and everybody's trying to reach up because they can't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see what you're cooking.
Yeah. The chill that they felt could have been explained by CO2 or nitrogen. It acts as a coolant. So that room where they felt the chill coming up from the bottom...
Because of the gas.
Yeah. No one knows exactly what they were carrying, but the scientist in me says that there are no ghost stories here. Just everyday chemistry gone very, very wrong.
Listen, Pinky, okay? I mean, I gotta go with the aliens because you can't be fucking around with that stuff. And I pulled up Mr. Shiro Ishii,
Yoshi?
okay, on Wikipedia. Yes, Yoshi. But this guy actually seems to be an asshole. It looks like he led the development of and application of biological weapons during the Second Sino-Japanese War in 1937 to 1945, including the bubonic plague attacks on the Chinese cities, and planned attack against the United States, in the Operation Cherry Blossoms at Night. I don't know what he entailed for us. He engaged in forced human experimentation on civilians and prisoners of war that resulted in the death of over 10,000 people.
Holy shit.
And yeah, he was responsible for some of the most notorious war crimes in Imperial Japan. And then he was granted immunity in exchange for, like, information and research for the U.S. biological warfare program. So we're like, hey, bro, we're not going to kill you, but we need your info so we can use it as well.
That's nuts.
So, anytime, I don't know, you want to fudge around with that stuff, aliens just so happen to come down and be like, I need to take that toy away from you.
That's a cool way to think about it, though. Really, that is.
I don't know. But your reasoning makes the most logical sense. It literally does, because if you are, like, desperate, trying to breathe, your face is going to be, like, in that shocked state.
Yeah, for sure. There was something else I read. It was about, like, sulfur deposits in the ocean, creating gas bubbles that come up and encapsulate ships, and that can just, like, spontaneously combust sometimes. I guess this has happened before, and they find everybody dead, and there's, like, no reason, it's just really freaky.
I wonder if that's from, like, the plates shifting or something, because, there's, like, magma.
Yeah, it could be, like, underwater volcanoes.
Yeah, something like that. I had never heard of that, though. That's crazy.
Yeah, I hadn't either. Pretty interesting. There was another story that I almost picked to read about the Octavius, and they found everybody frozen solid.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, they had been frozen for a really long time and had been sitting there.
Dang. For like ever?
It was a really long time. I don't remember exactly.
Cow, that's crazy. I wish I kind of did it too. This folklore story, which Pirates of the Caribbean it's kind of crazy. Like, you know in SpongeBob, Last Dutchman.
Oh, yeah, the Flying
like
Dutchman. I looked into that guy, too.
Yeah. And then there's, like, another one that the Pirates of the Caribbean did, which was, I don't know if you remember, but, like, the octopus guy.
Davy Jones!
Davy Jones! Oh.
Isn't that
maybe not
the Black Pearl?
Okay, yeah. But this one was different, where it's actually like a folklore story, and all the words, Dolly, where all the seamen were on there, but they were like entrapped. Like mermaids would go and they would like trap them on here. So you would either be like dead or you would just be forced to like work on the ship. Like that one guy's dad with all like the coral on him.
Yeah. That's not the Black Pearl?
No, I looked it up on my work computer. Hold on. Was that from Mental Floss? Aha! Okay. The waters around Chile's Chiloé Island, I probably said that so wrong, are known for terrible storms and for sightings of the Chaluche, a demon ship with luminous white sails and blood-red sails. More than just your average ghost ship, the Chaluce is a sentient being who can glide across the surface of the water at impossible speeds or dive beneath it like a whale. Observers say that when it passes, you can hear the cackling of its demon's crew, who hop around on one leg and have faces that spin around backwards. The ship is also manned by sailors, both dead and alive, either dragged from the deep or stolen from passing ships. However, the Chaluche only has use for the officers it finds and spills the others, driven half insane, onto local beaches. In other versions of the tales about the ship, it is piloted by souls of the drowned. Merchants who trade with the boat become suddenly wealthy, while those who see it supposedly wear crooked smiles forever.
Freaky.
Yeah, that one was just like a fun one. It's a legend.
So yeah, we've got a story about the SS William Irvin and my story about the SS Ourang Medan. I hope you enjoyed our spooky stories.
Yeah, that was a good one. I love anything to do with aliens, and I hope you did too.
I surprised you there with the aliens.
I know, I wasn't expecting that. I mean, I thought I was pretty, caught up with my conspiracies, but obviously I'm not. But that's okay. Keep surprising me.
Will do.
And that wraps up the Spooky Scary Show. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please show us your support by liking the cast or by following us. We are an independent podcast with big dreams, so if you would like to support us, check out our Patreon page at Spooky Scary Show. Also, join in on the conversation. Follow us on Instagram at Spooky Scary Show for science and spooky facts. Scare you later.
Bye-bye.
Spooky.